viewers, and welcome back to McElroy's Motors, the home of the weird, the boring, the projects, and the adventures. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today's date is December 23rd, 2025, which means one thing, and one thing only. It is now time, at last, to unveil the November 2025 road trip photo slideshow that I've been promising you guys for so long. And I do want to apologize for a few things here today. For one thing, I do want to apologize for not uploading any content these past couple of weeks, mainly because of ever since we got back from the road trip, everybody's been requesting off work for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, as well as the New Year's. So I've been working 60-hour work weeks for the past 3 weeks, and it's been absolutely terrible, especially given the weather that we've had since we came back from the road trip. We've had a massive snowstorm causing sub-zero wind chill temperatures and heavy gusts of wind, and just overall not good conditions to do any outdoor content at all. So I do apologize for that. And another thing I'd also like to share with you guys is the fact that Sadie officially has 84,854 miles on her now, which means she's now racked up well over 30,000 miles since I bought her in October of 2024, and she's still running absolutely perfectly. And also I would like to share with you guys that I do have some incredible news that I'll unveil after the slideshow. So it is now time to officially cue the music. Our incredible adventure started here at the newly renovated Sheets next to the Bob Evans in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. We chose here as our starting point mainly because they were open 24/7, but also allowed to order hot food no matter what time of day it was. And plus, the highway was just a couple blocks away. We left the gas station at 4 o'clock that Friday, November morning, and yet we were so pumped up and so excited about actually going, to the point we did not care that it was 34 degrees Fahrenheit outside with the wind chills making it feel like below freezing. It just felt so good to finally leave Ohio after planning this whole road trip for a whole straight year. Having filled up our bodies with high fructose corn syrup and caffeine, as well as the car with the finest Tesla repellent, we soon set off. Getting out of Ohio into Pennsylvania was in fact pretty easy. In fact, all it took was just an hour of driving east. So we stopped at a local Love's to pick up some more energy drinks, and we were greeted with the most incredible sunrise by far on this trip. After we left that gas station, we continued on driving east for roughly 240 miles before making our first official stop in Centralia, Pennsylvania. For those who do not know, Centralia, Pennsylvania was at one point a coal mining borough, and in 1962 the town had caught fire underground, and it is still burning today and is supposed to burn for another 200 years. The population has simply decreased at rapid rates because the town is considered uninhabitable. As such, the population went down from 3,000 to just over 4 as of today. It was definitely a surreal experience seeing what was left of the historic community, as well as seeing the historic church where the coal miners attended, as well as seeing houses that looked like they were cut in half. What is even more remarkable is the fire underground is spreading at rapid rates to the point that the nearby town of Orestes will be considered uninhabitable by the year 2040. So to see this town before all the history is wiped away into the history books was simply a bucket list thing for Anthony and I. Having left Centralia, we continued on to the city of Scranton, where the setting of the NBC sitcom The Office was supposed to take place. We stopped at this one place called the Cooper's Seafood House, which was also the Dunder Mifflin gift shop. The gift shop itself was located inside this gargantuan lighthouse, and when I walked inside, it felt like I was going back to my childhood, to the year 2005 when the show first aired. In fact, when I first watched the show, I could tell the show had great promise, having been far better than the UK equivalent. And I was blown away by all the merchandise, all the decor, all the Easter eggs that made the show what it is today. If you're a complete nut like me, it was just amazing. And in fact, it was even more amazing just to see that people come from all over the world just to attend this tiny little gift shop nestled in the heart of the electric city of Scranton, Pennsylvania. It was incredible. Having left Scranton, Pennsylvania, we crossed into Phillipsburg, New Jersey, where we had a bit of a late lunch. We had lunch at Jack's Pizzeria, located in the heart of the city. And when they said they had stuffed crust pizza, they were not kidding around. Before coming here, I used to say that the best pizza place I've ever had was the Buddy's Pizza in Warren, Michigan. But this place takes it up a notch because the staff there were just incredible. And everybody was just so welcoming and kind, and the food was relatively cheap too, but the quality was high marks. So if you find yourself in the small town of Phillipsburg in the Garden State of New Jersey, feel free to stop by Jack's Pizzeria. You will not be disappointed. Having left Phillipsburg, we were on the road for 13 hours at this point, but it was such a good feeling knowing that my good friend Joseph Signet was coming all the way from South Carolina just to join us in Washington, D.C. for that weekend. We had dinner at the retro Silver Diner located in Greenbelt, Maryland, about 12 miles away from D.C. This place brings back a lot of memories to me because apart from going there that evening, it was my first time eating at that restaurant in 3 years. The next morning was a bit of a cold one, but we were getting ready to attend the 19th annual Parade of Trabants held by the International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. And despite having a government shutdown on our hands, the turnout was absolutely amazing. We had Russian cars, Polish cars, East German cars, the list goes on. We even had a group of 4 men import a Trabant all the way from Germany just to drive it down Route 66 in the springtime. It was also just surreal to meet people who experienced life behind the Iron Curtain firsthand because it still impacts their lives to this very day. In fact, it was one man, a man by the name of Gunter Schabowski, who made the blessed mistake that made the teardown of the Berlin Wall take place. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think these cars would ever sneak through the net. But in the same time, it was just a remarkable reminder of what life was like in East Berlin, having a 15-year waiting list for a 2-stroke, 2-cylinder car. The next morning after that, we went sightseeing, and it was just an incredible experience for Alicia, having never been to Washington, D.C. beforehand. And she was just taken away by all the monuments, all the big government buildings, as well as seeing all the government vehicles absolutely everywhere. I think this will be something she'll truly never forget because, honestly, Alicia and Anthony always grew up poor, and it was just a stark reminder that no matter what life gives you, to always keep going, no matter what happens. I think she had a wonderful time visiting our capital city for the very first time. And that was the reason why I wanted to take them on the road trip in the first place, not only to inspire them to keep going, but to always remind them to never let their dreams die. I drove down to Washington, D.C. for the very first time at the age of 19, and it was something I never forgot because it allowed me to see my dream car for the very first time in the flesh. And it was just one incredible experience and one I'll never forget. After sightseeing, we had a long 225-mile drive to Roanoke, Virginia, but we stopped in the city of Harrisonburg where we had some delicious dinner at a wonderful Chinese buffet. It was, hands down, the best Chinese buffet I've ever been to, and for $85 for all 5 of us to eat, it was great value for money as well. And the staff there were amazing, the decor was even more so, and overall this was easily the best Chinese buffet I'd ever been to, and far better than my original choice, which was the Joy Luck House in Washington, D.C., which compared to this buffet was absolutely tiny, but simply worth it. But this place is definitely a lot better, and if you're looking for a good place to eat, stop by here. We did not get into the hotel in Roanoke, Virginia until well after 2:30 in the morning, but by golly, we had to get as much rest as we could because we were only there for one night as we were going to Anthony's early birthday present the following morning. With an absolute huge thanks to my good friend and fellow Trabant owner, Dr. Michael Cruz of Princeton, West Virginia, we were finally able to successfully tour the Duncan Imports in Christiansburg, Virginia. And as Anthony loves Japanese domestic market vehicles, as do I, this was car guy heaven all the way. Just featuring some of my ultimate dream cars, including the Toyota Will VI, the Nissan S-Car Go, and many, many more. This was a absolute dream haven for Japanese weird car lovers like Anthony and myself. And I just want to say a massive thank you to not only Dr. Michael Cruz himself, but also the incredible staff who allowed us to not only take a video of this dealership, but also just give us a great tour of everything they had currently for sale. This was just one incredible experience and one I truly will never forget. Easily one of the best car dealerships in the entire freaking nation. And I absolutely mean that. After we left Christiansburg, we pressed on to the city of Bristol, a town that is divided by the Virginia and Tennessee state line. And after we left the Cheap Thrills Records, we went to this one shop about 2 shops down where they actually gave us a gift bag filled with all sorts of unique pagan merchandise. We do not remember the name of that gift shop per se, but we just want to say a massive thank you to them because they were just unbelievably professional and they were just such wonderful people. It was awesome to show them my North Korean money as well, because they'd never seen anything like it. Talk about an amazing place. Our next overnight halt was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but between Roanoke and Chattanooga, we had to stop at Buc-ee's because my 3 passengers had never experienced one beforehand. And I gotta say, I think they had a wonderful time exploring a gas station with 142 different gas pumps and more merchandise, snacks, souvenirs, keychains, the whole list goes on than they could ever imagine. Sure, we had a budget set out to spend about $275 there, and we spent about $350, but it was worth every penny because they never seen anything like it. And I never seen Alicia smile so much on any road trip, especially here, of all places in the country. It was incredible. Our hotel in Chattanooga was nothing really that special. It was just more convenient to get into the state of Georgia than anything else. But it was so exhausting unloading the car, being up in the mountains on a 24-degree night. It was freezing, it was cold, but we made it work. I do wish to give a massive thank you to the hotel innkeeper for allowing us to check in at such a late hour. It was also remarkable to think that our 28-year-old car had covered 1,500 miles, but the next morning we had lunch at a place called Champy's before we made our way to the legendary Tail of the Dragon. Champy's, though, was the best fried chicken place I'd ever been to. The food there was incredible, and we're talking cute waitresses everywhere, great traditions, a huge gumball machine. I don't even know where to begin with this place, apart from the crazy decor that has to be seen by anybody visiting the local Chattanooga area. Sure, we had to drive about 15 miles outside of Chattanooga to a town called Eastridge just to get there, but we filled up our bellies, and before we knew it, we headed deep into the Smoky Mountains to head into the Tail of the Dragon. And wow, great views, absolutely stinking everywhere. Sure, I didn't drive, but my buddy Jason did. But it was worth it because Anthony got to experience the road he always wanted to experience for himself, and it was just incredible. I mean, sure, we definitely looked like a huge outcast showing up in a 28-year-old Saturn with a 40-gallon tote strapped to its roof, but I wouldn't have it any other way because this was our first time experiencing the road, and it was known for claiming lives. So for us to survive it on our first time there was amazing. And to get passed by the Google Street View car as we were signing things just added to the fun. It's a shame we couldn't go inside the gift shop because it was closed due to the weather circumstances, but honestly, I could not complain because the views more than made up for it. I just have to give myself a sticker to commemorate this event. The next morning, temperatures improved, but we packed up the car once again and crossed into the state of Georgia, my home state, for the first time in over 25 years. But before we did that, we stopped at the Little Debbie gift shop, and then soon after we stopped at a Walmart so at least you could buy another phone so she could take more pictures. And after that, we had lunch at a barbecue shack in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and the town was just absolutely wonderful. Great food, great people. It was just a quaint little town. The staff there even recommended a Civil War battlefield to which we got to visit as well, which was just fascinating for me being a complete history geek. And I would absolutely recommend Fort Oglethorpe to any history-loving person like myself, or indeed many others. It was amazing. And then soon enough, we crossed into the city of Dalton, my hometown, and I got to see the place where I was born, a Shell gas station, for the first time in almost 30 years. After leaving my hometown, we found this beautiful mountain pass that gave us an incredible view of Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. And after that, we crossed into Alabama for the final time before making our way to go have lunch in the city of Huntsville. It was about a 3-hour drive to dinner, but it was a remarkable drive because we got to experience Alabama in the flesh. Alabama is just one of 5 states in the entire country that does not have their own lottery system, but even so, Huntsville was very charming, and the place that Jason had chose for us to have dinner that night was, though small, very college friendly. It was incredible. The food there was terrific. They had this signature sauce, which was just as good as I remember it being, and overall, Huntsville was definitely not the southern town I expected it to be. We arrived at our final hotel outside of Ohio around midnight that night, with me looking forward to visiting my number one bucket list place. And with that in mind, I want to say a gargantuan thank you to the staff at the Lane Motor Museum for going above and beyond for us, because they allowed us to enter the vault, which is a rare thing on the weekdays. And we got to see my number one bucket list car of them all, predecessor of the Trabant, the Zwickau P70, as well as many other bizarre European cars that I've just been dreaming about seeing in the flesh. And I just want to say, again, a massive thank you to the staff at the Lane Motor Museum for not only allowing us to film there, but also just to have a great time exploring cars that I don't think Anthony or indeed Alicia will ever get a chance to see again. It was just one of the most incredible experiences of my life, and I highly recommend this museum to any car nut out there. Having dinner that night in downtown Nashville, Tennessee was easily one of the most beautiful parts of the road trip, with great architecture, murals everywhere, and the food we had was by far the best on the entire road trip. Sure, it was the most expensive, but it was money well spent. And sure, we had to spend $30 for parking for just 2 hours, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And to Holly, our server, I give her a massive thank you for everything she's done for us. We still keep in touch with her even today, believe it or not, and she became a good friend of ours since then. After we had dinner, we had a long 4-hour drive from Nashville to our final hotel in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'll be honest, I do not want to stay there again even if you paid me, but you get what you pay for. After that, we had a trip up to the Jungle Jim's grocery store, a 200,000 square foot international grocery store, which had everything one could possibly dream of. It was one of the coolest things I think Anthony and Alicia could ever experience in their lifetime. Having been there once when I was like 6 years old, it is great to see the place hasn't changed much over the years. And I was able to find things that I never thought I'd find in a grocery store here in America, such as Marmite, Limburger cheese, goat milk, all sorts of unusual stuff. But my golly, you have to, if you ever find yourself in Ohio, you have to come to Jungle Jim's. I implore you. You will not be disappointed, and if you cannot find it in Jungle Jim's, either A, it has never been invented yet, or B, you're simply not looking hard enough. It is one of those places where you will have no problem getting lost in it, and the restrooms, you have to experience them too, because it is so unlike any other grocery store you would ever go to. It is one of the nicest places anywhere in Ohio. And our final stop was in Columbus, Ohio, to this beautiful Korean restaurant. Had the best food anywhere, and it was easily the most expensive. We spent about $400 on the food itself, but my goodness gracious, was it worth it. The stuff we could buy there, the fish tanks, the music, the lights, the decor, everything was spot on, and I never thought I'd say that for a restaurant located in the Buckeye State of Ohio. It was one of the best places I had ever been to in my 9 years of being on the road. I hope we can go back there sometime because it was truly fan-freaking-tastic. So what is this gargantuan news that I was meaning to tell you about earlier in the video? Well, for starters, I finally got myself a brand new radio for my 1997 Saturn SL1, and it was a gargantuan improvement. I still have the original radio, but that is going to Hungary because I have a friend of mine out there who actually exports Saturns from the US and Canada all over to Hungary because they are just such durable little cars, and they actually did sell them in Hungary for a very short bit of time, as well as sold them to Japan, believe it or not. But that's not the biggest news of them all. The biggest news of all, ladies and gentlemen, I am in tears for saying this, but as of this Friday, I will be making a deposit on another Trabant. Yes, I will be buying my dream car at last again. And the reason why I'm doing it is because even though I do know where my yellow one is, and I will always miss my yellow one, that yellow one is now in such good hands to the point where I don't miss it as much as I used to. In fact, I would rather go through the process of buying and importing another one just for the fun of it versus going through my yellow one again, because the yellow one is the last memory I have of my parents, and therefore I do not want to have to relive that memory. I do want to make things right by actually importing a Trabant because I want to and make it right for myself and not have to think about my parents. And as such, I would be buying it from a guy by the name of Martin Heinz, who is located in Harthausen, Germany. And make things even better still, Martin has his own repair shop specializing in the parts, distribution, and service of East German vehicles, and he is known to be one of the best there is, essentially. So I am very excited, and I'm making my deposit. He and I agreed on a sale price of $10,000, and I will be setting up a deposit of anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 come Friday. And I am super excited. Martin Heinz, like I said, he owns his own shop. He's been to the International Spy Museum, Trabant parades numerous times. In fact, I took him there in November of 2022. So it's not like I am going all out sending money to a person that I do not know. And Martin himself also speaks English and ships parts worldwide. So he has a very good reputation going. So anyways, guys, that concludes this video from your one and only McElroy's Motors. If you like this video, feel free to smash that thumbs up icon and like this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content if you haven't done so already, especially with that great news that I just announced. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in an upcoming video. Take care, everybody, and Merry Christmas.